the discussion were extremely productive and very constructive. I think one thing that we definitely very much heard and that resonate is that the South African presidency of the G20 has made sure that to put on the table of the G20 key priorities that matters for African countries, whether it is about mobilizing climate finance, whether it is about harnessing critical minerals for inclusive growth, whether it is addressing the issue of debt, which is a big issue for many African countries. And I think this is something that we all recognize was actually some of those right priorities. And the idea was also how we could very much discuss and work about how Africa can reduce the cost of capital.
I think the different perspectives from the various panelists as well as from official policymakers, I think has been really good. I think it's helped to broaden and to create greater awareness of the actions that African states and actors are taking to deal with some of particularly the global financial challenges that Africa has to face.
The reflection for this meeting is one of the things that I believe is timely, and I'm quite impressed with the outcome of the meeting. 3 take-home for me. 1, debt sustainability is no longer a joking matter, it's a priority for the region. The second thing is the fact that coordinated action is very important for us to get into the necessary level that we think Africans should be. The take-home for us as Africans and as member of the G20 is to continue to work with the G20 and then have a common mechanism that benefits both the Africans and also the region as well as the global entirely for the poorest.
I'm very excited that we had the opportunity to host this G20 conference in West Africa. I think the key takeaway for me is really that there is a need for more sort of concerted effort and more coordinated action across the continent, both amongst policymakers and non-state actors, to really ensure that African needs are reflected on the G20 table.
The discussion was very good. And it's good that the different partners came in, very open, very honest discussions. We talk about the things that are going right in Africa, some of our challenges and the shocks that we meet, and then yet how do we position ourselves within this G20 and have a voice? How do we organize Africa? And then we also had discussions with the non-state actors who, based on research that they do, are able to provide evidence to give credibility to some of the discussions that we've been having and able to influence some of the decisions at the G20.
I think overall today was a great day. It was a very engaging discussion. Right a few weeks before the Leaders Summit in Johannesburg, I think it was important to just take stock of how far we've come with the South African G20 presidency. How have we been engaging as African institutions between South Africa, the African Union, the African Development Bank, or the NEPAD and other partners such as UNECA. And I think today the big thing is we need to coordinate better.